already quite good, and we see already some interesting patterns. The link to menti.com is in the chat, so don't hesitate to continue voting. The more answer we have, the more significant. But maybe we can already start by the presentation of our new members. Caroline.
Very well. I just share my screen again. Overruling. Yes, you can see. We have the first member I would like to introduce. They can, of course, they cannot attend today. It's from the USA, from Washington, D.C., our colleagues from the World Bank Archives. But they were so kind as to send us a short video to be shared with you. Let's see, hopefully it works as well.
For over 75 years, the World Bank has led the fight against poverty, rebuilding countries, strengthening economies, impacting millions of people. But its inner workings were largely unknown, and its records inaccessible.
Sorry.
That all changed in 2010. When a new access policy opened the archives. More than 200,000 feet of records, accessible to anyone. Can you unlock the information of this influential institution? What untold stories might you uncover? Do board documents hold any surprises? Get the inside scoop in frank interviews with departing staff.
The basic source of attention was the one which is inherent in bank operations.
Sift through handwritten notes and memos. You may even uncover a poem. The treasures of the archives help us understand today's world and the people who helped form it. Learn how past decisions inform policy today. Can you figure out what worked and what didn't and why? Perhaps you want to test an accepted theory with new data. Dig into the detailed records of a bank project. Run your Python script against official documents. Because the truth is, we need you. Your insights, your questions, and your imagination. The World Bank's history is your history. Whether you're a farmer, a student, a data scientist, a government official, jump in and explore. The World Bank archives are open to everyone.
Thank you. So welcome to the World Bank.
Okay. So sorry for my interference here, because even every time I do something on my computer, the PowerPoint presentation stops. So at least another thing learned today is be careful of what you're clicking on. So I'm just looking for, I think Dike, I already promoted you.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have. So thanks for attending, and please have the floor.
Let me see if you can actually see my slides. Yes, there they are. Hopefully you can see my slides, and if not, you can probably see me, so that's okay as well. Thank you for this opportunity to present ourselves. My name is Dike Wesseling. I'm head of the Heritage Department of the city of 's-Hertogenbosch. And in Dutch, we are called Erfgoed 's-Hertogenbosch, which seems an attempt at putting as many Dutch hard G's as possible in a single name. So that is rather useless in an international context. That is why we have called our project Den Bosch Time Machine, Den Bosch being the popular name for our city. Den Bosch is a medium to large-sized municipality in the southern province of Brabant with roughly 150,000 inhabitants. It's a town known for its cultural heritage, with painter Geronimus Bosch as its best known export product. But also, and that's what this is about, a lot of built monuments, fortifications, archaeological finds, and rich archives. So from 2015 onwards, these heritage disciplines have been joined together in one municipal department, making it possible to share and combine knowledge, data, and stories. We work in 4 teams. So that is development and advice. They are specifically aimed at spatial planning, research and documentation, preservation and conservation, and last but not least, public outreach and education. And some of you may have been in contact with Dennis Dekker, who's team lead of public outreach and initiator of the Den Bosch Time Machine. Well, Den Bosch calls itself Data City, and each year in October we organize Den Bosch Data Week. So last month we seized that opportunity to officially join Time Machine organization. But many of the projects in our Time Machine were already on the go before that, and they include automatically generated transcription of handwritten archives, 3D modeling, artificial intelligence, for instance, used on exploring image collections, VR and AR applications, interactive maps, and more. And for the Den Bosch Time Machine, we have joined forces with Avans Higher Education, St. Lucas, that's a vocational school on creative subjects, the Geronimus Academy of Data Science, and Huygens Research Institute. Now, most of what we have done so far was aimed at the larger public, websites, routes, apps. Within the Time Machine framework, we hope to look more closely at the back office, our data. Quite a large part of our collections is not digitally accessible yet, so let alone shared in a linked data network with data from other organizations. And one of the pilot projects we want to start is Home of Bos. This concerns the house in Market Square where Geronimus Bos grew up and learned his trade. You can actually see it on the slide, the second from the left lower line. The archives on this location and on Geronimus Bos himself have been searched. The building has been meticulously researched prior to restoration. Archaeological excavations have been carried out. A 3D model of both the building and the market square around 1500 is already available. So there is a wealth of data to be used for further research and public presentation, but we have to open up the data sets and link them. So we're looking forward to that. That is basically all I wanted to share with you today. The slides, including this last one on what we're looking for, will be on the TMO website if you want to explore links to our websites or contact details. Thank you very much.
You're muted, Caroline. Thank you very much, Dieke. Caroline. Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to thank Dieke for joining us here. Next up, I would like to invite, yes, he's already joining us, Mark Hernandez, who will present to us the La Tempesta studio. Wait, at the spotlight, and here we go. Hello, Mark.
Hi, good morning. Do you hear me properly? Yeah? Excellent. Okay, so hello, my name is Marc Hernandez. I'm the CEO of La Tempesta, City Culture and Technology. I will share some slides with you to give you an overview of what we do. If I may, okay. Charge. There we are. Oh, okay. Okay, is the logo in screen? Yeah. Do you see the logo? Okay. Sorry, Caroline, is the logo on screen?
No, it's just the plain page and just the language.
Okay, so sorry for that.
Oh, no. It's just, yeah, simply the browser.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna share it once again. Let me see. Yeah. Now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now we've got the presentation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. So we are introducing us, La Tempesta. We are a Barcelona-based private company, and we provide strategy, digital transformation services, and also web development for knowledge and content-based organizations. This includes, of course, museums, libraries, archives, universities also. All institutions that are put content and knowledge in their heart. We partner with them to provide our services, which basically also are on the digital heritage and digital humanities. Our journey, well, in my case, I come from the consulting strategy, and I've been also working in startups in the multimedia sector. And after this, I was able to run the IT department in Barcelona Culture Institute. So I've been like 7 years working very close with museums and all kind of cultural institutions, and providing like different digital resources, like for example the 3D restitution, virtual restitution of the Roman Barcelona, the archaeological map, and some digital humanities projects. And also we were able to join Europeana, which I'm proudly member from Europeana Pro from many years ago. And also I was in Dresden last year, enjoying the meeting and knowing some of you. We are in contact, of course, with the Barcelona Local Time Machine, and also with the Universitat de Bologna. Also, we are in conversations. So we are proud members of this community now. We consider ourselves part of the European creative industry, and our aim will be to collaborate with local time machines in co-creating outstanding digital cultural heritage resources and also digital humanities projects. So that's a little bit where we place ourselves in the creative industry, together with all these big building blocks of the time machine project. And of course, our aim also will be like working projects where all these new technologies like artificial intelligence and data integration are part of. So what we do right now, we are also in H2020 transformations as a technical partner in a project called So Close, which I recommend if you want to take a look in the website. That it's a project to enhance social cohesion through sharing of cultural heritage between the forced migrations populations and the local communities. It's an interesting project, and it's running until 2022. And we are, as you can see, one of the technical partners together with the Universidad Autónoma de Barcelona and the Lund University in Sweden, and several cultural institutions also. And what we do is basically we also work with open source technologies, like to give like all these interrelation between the different dimensions of the knowledge of an organization. We can make all this content linked and interrelate themselves to put in value these connections that are not always obvious. So we work with a lot of different sharing tools and types of digital resources. You can see some of them here, and I will show a small video with you. Hope it's interesting.
Thanks, Mark. Very interesting presentation, and thank you very much. I've just checked the watch. It's already 10 to 12, so we have to move a little quicker forward. But thank you very much, Mark. And I would now like to move on to our next speaker from Italy, Pier Paolo. Let's see if I can find him. So. Right, Pierpaolo Massone from the Essence Academy. I think, wait. Pierpaolo, can you hear me? Yeah. So let's search for him.
Yes, I can.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so.
Is the floor mine?
Yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm addressing you from Milan this morning. We are in a lockdown, as you may know. Can you see my slide?
No, it's not working. But due to timing, we might. Can we do without slides, maybe? Just give us a quick introduction of what Essence Academy is.
We are a vocational school based in Milan and Monza. We are strongly focused on digital activities. Our aim is to provide actionable knowledge to artisans of the future. The title of my presentation and the thesis I'm submitting to you is "The Sooner the Better." During the spring lockdown, we've teamed up with a number of these institutions. Some of them work for the University of Venice. The University of Venice has been running for the University of Columbia in New York a part of their heritage preservation program. That's a second level master degree program, which is generally aimed at US wealthy intellectuals, averagely 28, 30-year-olds. We decided to unload this program onto 14-year-olds because that's the main target of our school. So kids who have just started secondary school, who had no previous knowledge of anything. All our students have iPhone and iPad Pro, which, as you may know, are now endowed with the LiDAR technology. The results were staggering, as a matter of fact. First of all, because we organized all this without ever meeting. We met physically, the organizers met for the first time on the first day of the workshop. So for 1 week, we locked our students in a room for an intensive, highly participative, hands-on workshop in which we taught them how to digitize a fabric archive from the 17th century, an old book, how to create a museum virtual tour, how to read an old manuscript with AE, and then how to publish all this with algorithms, and even more importantly, how to build a heritage marketing narrative about this. And amazingly, the kids picked up this very quickly, and the learning curve was as steep as it was for their American counterparts, twice their age and much more expert in these matters. The point I'm making here is that this was an experiment, and we do view as a priority the fact that digitization and in general digital humanities should be included in the K-12 program from any type of school. The knowledge is too much, the information is too much. Building knowledge is no longer a linear program. It is important to give actionable knowledge. The fact that the tools, the technology is available makes it easier, native, spontaneous, intuitive for these kids to use it in a highly professional way. So that's the experience I'm here with you.
So you're building our new time machine-ish of the next generation. That's great.
Well, I've seen, you know, there's a balance of push and pull. I think the digital divide in Italy is deep. It's very deep indeed. And we are also creating a pool for digitization, for digitized culture. presently, not many in Italy know of this opportunity. So we're not only building future professionals, but also future consumers.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Pier Paolo, for sharing your insights and your program with us. Now I would like to switch quickly to Ireland to have our colleague Paul from Galway.
Yep, all right.
Yeah, here we go. So, hello, Paul.
Hi.
Just may I also you as some new members, but time's running short now.
You have the slides?
Yeah.
Okay, something not working with the full screen. Yeah, there we go.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Paul Uitelaar. I'm based in Ireland, University of Galway. So you see the wonderful main building there of our university. Oops. I went the wrong way, sorry. So we're basically two main institutes representing here of the university. So the Data Science Institute, that's where I'm based, and the Moore Institute, which is an institute in humanities and social studies. So bringing together expertise from the different directions. The different research areas that we focus on at the Data Science Institute are as follows. So we have a lot of work around knowledge graphs, around decentralized data, about trustworthy and ethical data science. So things like blockchains and where does data come from, and ethics by design and algorithms. Data visualization, so focusing on visual analytics and knowledge discovery. And I'll talk a little bit more about knowledge graphs. I'm leading that effort together with John McRae, my colleague. So this is a busy slide, but basically, this is a research program that we're currently implementing with two big multinational companies around knowledge extraction from unstructured text data, connecting it to structured data in their enterprise. We're doing this with the tool Saffron, which we developed over a number of years for knowledge extraction and knowledge graph extraction now. We also combine this with a tool called NASH, which is about knowledge graph integration, also used for data linking. All of this is also integrated with work going on in the European project, PRED-a-LOT, which is about linguistic, enriching these knowledge graphs with linguistic information, pulling things from the linked open data cloud, which we actually host in Ireland, in Galway. On the left, on the bottom, you see a number of links. So if you're interested, so Saffron and NASH are both open source projects, so you can use them directly for your setting. All of this, as mentioned, is developed with companies at the moment, but of course, all of this is also equally applicable to a digital humanities setting. And one more thing, so we also use knowledge graph embeddings to integrate this for chatbot development.
Wow, thanks, Paul.
So yeah, finally, the main slide about digital humanities. So some of the projects we have going on between the Data Science Institute and also the Moore Institute. So projects around music, projects around historical languages. So there's a big focus on Old Irish. We have projects in the Moore Institute around early modern networks of women authors. There was a ERC project. And of course, we have a lot of work also in the Moore Institute around Irish culture, like Irish plays and other related things. And on the top, you also see some work on AI for coloring old pictures from Ireland, specifically around the beginning of the century. So, and then bottom, you have a number of pointers to the different projects. Okay.
Thanks very much, and sorry for interrupting you. The highly interesting projects. We make sure to your slide is already on the poster wall, so yeah. all our members can also tune in and go into more detail. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
I would now go back to Austria. We have some colleagues from Lower Austria. Okay, Marcus Seidel is already sharing his screen. Very good.
Yes, hello everybody. There's lots of things to tell, but I will keep it short. I just have one question for you. Do you see my first slide? It should be quite colorful. Okay,
Yep.
so it's the right screen. Okay, I'm Marcus Seidel. I'm a computer science professor and heading the Institute of Creative Media Technologies at the University of Applied Sciences in St. Pölten and in Lower Austria, and but very close to Vienna actually. And I want to share with you just pointers to some research activities that are highly relevant to the vision of the time machine. So one strand of work we are maintaining is digitally enhancing museum experience. And you have the links on each of the pages to go deeper there. It's about human-centered computing. It's about creating digital layers of information, but always interwoven with physical space. And this, especially in museums, it tangles the disciplines of surface computing and data visualization, and also HCI research. And we did some rather large installations in the past years. So some snaps from one exhibition there, and also some snaps from other exhibitions. Like this digital layer is also relevant if the artifacts that are shown in the museum are maybe too small or in all not interesting enough in their material appearance. So we give them more space and more explanation to explore on your own. You have the starting point, and a second strand of work that I'm maintaining is enhancing the understanding of artifacts. This is towards the expert users and not the general public as before. And one spotlight on a scribe identification project we just started, and we're already having very good progress, and it's rather larger scale attempt with many manuscript pages with hundreds of unknown scribes. So you also have the link to jump in there. And the fourth thing is already, it's not running anymore. It's a bit older, but still I'm really very attracted of somehow bringing this into the vision of the 4D digital twin of our globe in a time machine. It's about the Pidotti rock art in northern Italy, not so far away from Milano. And we've been working in a very large consortium. Our role was in computer vision and some segmentation, similarity estimation, and what so on. But you also have the points to jump in there. And yeah, we're really looking forward to contribute into the goals of the time machine. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thanks. So now that we have a few minutes past 12. I don't know how we should proceed now. I would have two more new member presentations if we would like. Next one is also from Lower Austria, not far away from St. Pölten, from the Danube University in Krems, Mr. Florian Windhaler. I just have you here. Okay, hello.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can already see my screen. Indeed, we have just moved some kilometers to the north to Krems in Lower Austria, where arguably cultural heritage runs deep. You might know Willendorf in the Wachau, which is just 20 kilometers into the Wachau Valley, and where a famous clay limestone figure comes from, the Venus from Willendorf. And here in the foreground, you can see the Danube University, which is also hosting a faculty for education, arts, and architecture, which has multiple research areas that intersect with the time machine agenda. I just want to quickly point you to the Department of Building and Environment, the Department of Image Science, and the Department of Arts and Cultural Studies, which have various courses and research projects with direct relevance according to our understanding to the Time Machine project, and also a PhD, which is actually in progress, that should also integrate these perspectives, which are future-oriented and also oriented to the preservation of the cultural heritage in the area. This is just a pointer to the websites where you can find further information, and I want to just shine a quick spotlight at one European project that has just started with this month. It's called Intangible European Heritage, Visual Analysis, Curation and Communication. It draws together 9 European research partners and 7 cultural heritage project aggregators and 12 national biography projects. The setup is actually connecting to the state that the digital transformation has already provided with regards to cultural heritage data. We obviously have already different knowledge collections, object collections, biography collections in the World Wide Web. But if we have a closer look, these knowledge collections are most frequently siloed databases. On the one side, we have databases dedicated to tangible cultural heritage, such as objects, images, sculptures, and so on. And on the other side, we have a lot of information about intangible aspects of cultural heritage. Our question in these projects will be how to actually draw together. Oh, can you still see my screen? Okay, so our question will be how to draw together these different aspects, how to make this information more accessible and comprehensible, and how to foster the continuous curation and refinement of this information. This will be met with actual strategies of linking data, visualizing data, and also offering tools to automatically and manually curate this data. This will be the architecture of the project. So we try to bring together big object databases like Europeana or Prometheus databases on the one side, and on the other side, national biography projects. And on the right side, you can see how we want to use visualization and storytelling to make these data more accessible. We will build on a project that has been developed in the last years, the Polycube project. Time Machine is often talking about using or developing a Google Maps with a time slider. This project already integrates a geo perspective, a set perspective, and a network perspective. And in this case, in the vertical dimension, you can see the time axis. So it's really a multi-perspective viewer with a time slider. And in this Intavia project, we will try to extract data from national biographies. For example, here data from a Viennese painter, where we have multiple objects like paintings. And on the right side, you can see the biography as it is structured in the APIS project from the Austrian Academy of Sciences. And from this, we can extract information, which we can obviously draw on a map, but we will also try to develop new visualizations, like here 3D representations of biographies, where you have always the spatial coordinates and the temporal coordinates. So this would be one technique that we want to explore. And wrapping up already, you can see we will use these so-called space-time cube representations that are genuinely 4D, together with other visual analytics perspectives. And we won't only have a look at single biographies, but we will try to cluster different biographies and bring them together so that we can also have a look at whole organizations and art schools, and also the cultural history of whole regions. If you're interested in this project and want to possibly also associate yourself, please just drop me an email. Also, if you maybe plan to submit to the European Museum and Collaboration Spaces And I will also share the slides on the website. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Florian. Thank you very much. Very interesting project you're having there. So I'm pretty sure you will soon receive some information and some requests from our project scouting service to go into more detail there. I would have one more new member speaker, Pertti Hapala from Finland. And then we would still, as some people have to, yeah, it's already past 12 and some people have to leave already. We will then skip quickly to the spotlight session, the lightning talks. So Pertti, we hear you. Hello.
Hello. I guess you can see my picture. What do you see?
We just have a part of your screen.
Did I share it? Do you see my slide?
We see something. Yeah, we see your screen. It's just not very much.
That's a picture of me.
Here we go. Now it's good.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this session. And I'm not presenting any new project. I'm just telling something about myself and why we wanted to join the TMO. And as you see, I'm just an ordinary historian, and that's why you can see behind me only books. And with that, I want to demonstrate that history is always a narrative written by somebody, read by somebody, learned by somebody. And with that, I wanted to emphasize that I'm happy that TMO will take seriously cooperation with, let's say, current critical historical research, and not to just only concentrate on making huge and visually wonderful databases and so on. So I hope that that kind of cooperation will be deep in the future. So I'm professor of history at Tampere University. And if you don't know where Tampere is, it's the city where Nokia communications come from. So we have a strong history in all kind of digital technology, and also in plyometrics, that is statistical history. And as a historical anecdote, I can tell you that I was running 20 years ago a research project titled Finnish History Machine. And we worked for 5 years and produced a rather large CD-ROM production with that name, but it was never commercialized successfully. And I want to share with you 3 reasons why we failed 20 years ago, and that might be relevant still today. First thing was that, of course, the technology was not that advanced then, and a major problem was then that software developers always promised much more than they could do. So we're waiting for new programs which never were published. Another problem was that we lost the market, because in the same time internet became so popular and common, and people began to believe that they do not have to buy any CD-ROMs because next year they can get everything through internet and free, which never actually realized in my mind. And the third reason was the copyright problems. We had a long list of agreements with all kinds of data providers. It was very difficult to make those contracts. And when we tried to publish the whole thing on internet, those contracts were no more valid because they were made only for closed platforms like CD-ROMs. And it was then said that in those days, even public institutions were not willing to publish their data. Instead, they believed that they could make money by selling their pictures and documents and so on. So that's what we learned from those days. And I saw from the TMO plan that you have been seriously taking into account also this kind of problems which still exist. And as a historian, I would say that the most important thing in TMO is what is our story? what we want to tell and to whom. That's more important than the media. That was all. Thank you for starting this fine project. We were happy to join it, and we selected founding membership because then we had the higher fee to be involved. Thank you.
So thank you for also supporting us financially. And thank you very much for your insight and your recap of what problems we might, or the past, what problems the past brought to publishing things. Maybe we can see a little more how today is, how it's working today. For example, we have one more speaker from the National Library of Finland coming up. See how they are dealing with sharing their content online. Nico?
Yes, thank you. I think that Bert is still sharing his screen, so
okay.
Just,
okay. So,
yeah.
I will just stop it. So.
Yes, thank you very much. Now I think you can see my screen.
Perfect, yes.
Yes, okay. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me to say a word or two about the National Library of Finland. I know that time is short, so I will go through the slides quickly. My name is Mikko Laplainen. I'm a development manager at the National Library of Finland. And actually we have been members in the Time Machine as regular members for I think about a year, but we have just joined as founding members. So this is sort of new introduction to the National Library of Finland. Okay, so what is the National Library of Finland? Obviously, as a library, we are responsible for the accumulation, description, preservation, and availability of the national published heritage. And we provide services for the entire library sector in Finland, but also work very closely with the museums, galleries, and archives, and share many services with them, and also other public institutions, and also have companions in the private sector also. The National Library of Finland is an open library, so our collections are available for all to explore. I will not go into that any more detail, but I will say that the National Library of Finland is an independent institute of the University of Helsinki. So we are a part of University of Helsinki, although our finances come mostly directly from the Ministry of Education and Culture in Finland. I will not say more about the history. You can look it up from our website, but just to give a look to the heritage of our institution, we date the founding of the library to 1640. So we have been doing this for quite a while now, and it's interesting times now, of course, in the development of digital collections. We have quite a bit of collections from different aspects of the printed culture. As a national library, of course, we have the national collection, but we're also one of the biggest research libraries for humanities in Finland. And we also have quite a bit of archival material, although we are a library. And there are many archive collections of many well-known Finnish authors and musicians like Sibelius, for example. About the national collection that we have actually dates its history to the legal deposit law that was put on by the Swedish Empire in 1707, and when in that time Finland was a part of Sweden. And actually in 19th century we were a part of Russia, so we have quite a bit of material from the Swedish Empire and from the Russian Empire, in addition to the sort of core Finnish materials in our national collection. And of course we have printed material, but also sound archival material, and currently we are also archiving Finnish websites and ebooks and e-music and YouTube videos and so on to preserve the Finnish cultural heritage. We have a large Slavonic library and Slavonic collections, actually very famous, one of the largest collections of the Slavonic literature outside of Russia, and we have many researchers coming to study those publications here in Finland. We have quite a bit of special and manuscript collections also. One of the most well-known is the cartographical collection of a Nordenskiöld of many old maps and atlases and so on. And there's a list of some of the well-known special collections also. I mentioned the legal deposit law. And based on that law, we are able to get a copy of everything that is published in Finland. And as said, it dates back to the 1707 and when we were part of the Swedish Empire. Yes, I will skip that slide also and move on. This is the Finnish Web Archive. And I will say that we also do quite a bit of digitization work ourselves. Our digitization center is in Mikkeli, whereas our main building is in Helsinki. And obviously we are very interested in the time machine in the sense that we would like to be involved in developing the digitization services for the cultural heritage materials. So really looking forward to initiatives about the digitization technologies. Okay, you can go through these by yourselves. I will end with the little spotlight of three services that we are working at the National Library. Obviously, we have many services. These are provided for the Finnish cultural heritage sector. I will just mention these, and you can go look for further information about other services. But first, I would like to mention a Finna service that is sort of common user interface for all Finnish libraries, museums, and archives. So I think Finna can be seen as the sort of starting point for the sort of Finnish time machine service where we combine different cultural heritage materials from different organizations, and you can go look up finna.fi if you want to explore it further. And also I would like to mention the FINTO, Finnish Thesaurus and Ontology service that we develop in the National Library of Finland. In FINTO we develop tools for using and publishing of linked data, vocabularies and ontologies, and also we do this ontology development work where we link and transform into machine-readable forms of different vocabularies and are building this sort of large knowledge graph of sorts of information, and we are using those ontologies and vocabularies to describe and index cultural heritage materials in the whole cultural sector of Finland, and this is in active development currently and might be of interest to the time machine organizations. And also related to maybe the AI things that are interesting in the time machine framework, we have been developing in the past few years these automatic indexing and classification tools that we use to index cultural heritage materials, text materials at this point, using our FINTO ontologies. So we have this tool called UNIF. You can look it up from the unif.org website. And the current national installation of the UNIF is the FINTO AI service that we use for automatic subject indexing currently in libraries, for example. Okay, so a lot of information there and very little time. So any questions you might have, please feel free to contact me.
Yeah, Thank you, Mikko. Yeah, sorry for hurrying you so along, but we will
No,
have
it's
your,
okay.
your presentation on our website as well, so everyone can dive in a little deeper into that. And of course, there's always the chance to join one of our other sessions in the Time Machine conference, and we will see more of you anyways, as you're one of the founding members of Finland. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Due to time issues, I would now quickly remove you and invite Tomasz from the Poznan in a supercomputing and networking center, because he has to leave at 12:30. So allow me to do him first.
Sure. So thank you. So I mean, in my short talk, I would just like to quickly introduce you to our recent work related to Virtual Transcription Laboratory, which is a transcription platform that PSNC has been developing since 2011. So in short, Virtual Transcription Laboratory is the platform where you can import data from various repositories using TEI, IIIF, or OAI PMH standards. Once the data is imported, the users can work in groups or individually to transcribe and annotate documents, and after the document is ready and validated, it can be exported to various formats, including ebooks as well as plain text, HOCR or TEI. So our recent work was focused, in fact, on integrating the newest AI-based text recognition engine into the system and making sure the platform supports IIIF streams and relevant annotation for research community. And you can find more information in my slides, linked to the chat box, and in the slides you can also find a link to the platform itself so that you can play with it yourself. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomasz.
Thank you very much, Tomasz. And thanks for being short. Okay, so what shall we do now? It's already turning 12:30 around, so
we have, I mean, so thanks for all the new members that gave a slightly longer presentation, and it's very important to have new flow of members. We have the opportunity for this very quick now presentation by the current members, just pointing to the current work. So we have 10 of them. That's right, Caroline.
Something about that.
So let's go. If it's fine for you, let's go and do them. So who is the first on the list?
That would be Jason from
okay.
Time Machine.
The floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon. On behalf of the University of Antwerp, just a short update in 4 highlights. We recently teamed up with the Belgian States Archives for a big project, DigiMaps project, on data extraction from historical maps. Secondly, together with our good friend Mike Kestemont, we will try and cluster and geolocalize thousands of historical photographs from Antwerp based on our Time Machine corpus that we already have. Furthermore, we have a smartphone application. It's in Dutch, unfortunately, but we have it up and running. You could use it, especially if you're Dutch speaking, of course. And last but not least, we are evaluating open source tools for processing, linking, and visualization of historical data on the rural surroundings of Antwerp, for which we write recommendations more on a spatial planning kind of policy activities. So that's all. Thanks for your attention.
Oh, that was quick.
That is quick, huh?
Thanks a lot. Now we would like to hear something from the Amsterdam Time Machine. There's also some updates there.
Yes, the Amsterdam City Archives have digitized a series of address books from the 19th and 20th century. And these periodicals were published annually and contain, they were the yellow pages of back then, and they contain information on persons, on businesses and public venues. And they contain this information in a repetitive manner, in the sense that it is highly likely that if one is mentioned in one year, that he will be mentioned in following or preceding years. And in our pilot project, we have made use of this to both correct OCR errors, because similar context, similar meaning, but also to eliminate duplicate mentions of persons, so to find unique persons, occupations, businesses, and their locations. And in the next step, in publishing this as linked open data, we can connect it to other data sets, such as civil registries, or trade registers, by which we will know more about how Amsterdam looked like 2 centuries ago, and for instance, know more about its demographics. Thank you.
You're all busy in Amsterdam. Very good. Thanks. Thanks for sharing this. The Barcelona time machine is also quite active. I would like to have Maricelli. Oh, hello.
Hello. Thank you. I'm trying to share my screen.
But may I ask you to it was just very short presentation.
Okay, it's very short. Okay. I'm the director of the IRCOM, this is the Institute of Research in Medieval Cultures of the University of Barcelona. And what we are presenting here is a project under construction. From the University of Barcelona, we are preparing a local consortium made of Catalan universities, research institutes, archives, libraries, museums, and public and private entities. Our local time machine aims at building a multidimensional model of Barcelona and its evolution covering a period of 1,000 years. To make this ambitious idea feasible, we think it may be useful to divide the development of the project into 3 distinct phases. In the first one, I'm trying to... In the first one, in which we are working now, we will deal with the Middle Ages. The main goal will be to introduce the virtual visitor into the inner and external spaces of the medieval Barcelona through the use of images, sounds, text, videos, and virtual 3D reconstructions. As you can see, among our stakeholders, there is about all the city of Barcelona, the Ajuntament, with its excellent archives, libraries, and museums, but also the private sector and small and medium-sized companies and some television channels. And that's all. I've tried to be synthetic also. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What else do we have? Tristan, the Bibliotheca Hertziana will present tomorrow. Then we would have Patricia Merrigan from Maise. Patricia, are you here?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. No.
Just trying to share my screen. Okay. So I will.
Presentation also on the website, so it's
okay. Yeah, on the website it was more a Word file with a summary. I have a very short presentation. So I'm from the Maise Botanical Garden in Belgium, and I just wanted to give an update on the Europeana CEF LINBI project, which is about linking biodiversity and cultural information. The project just finished now in October. So what are natural history collections? They are very important also for cultural heritage because they are a unique reference material who documents our planet's history. So that's what we thought that it would be interesting that our community is also part of Time Machine. The outputs of the project is that we managed to provide over 1 million herbarium sheets, photographs and illustrations to Europeana. There was a virtual exhibition on the history of the collections and the collectors produced by the partners, which are from Germany, Spain, Belgium and Austria. We also did thematic clustering tools, and we used crowdsourcing system for data enrichment, and we developed a data enrichment platform that can be used also by Europeana and produced a simple multilingual vocabularies to enhance the search facilities. For the Botanic Garden Meiser, we are also a historical domain with a lot of cultural heritage, and within several projects, Linby and others, we developed a virtual herbarium where we are in mass digitization projects, whereby next year we hope to have 3.5 million herbarium sheets and images online that can be reused freely. For the moment, we have already 1.7 million images online and data. And we also developed a crowdsourcing tool that is multilingual and that was reused by the partners of Linby to enrich the metadata of the images by crowdsourcing. And here you can see also a few images of the virtual exhibitions that were produced by the partners. And we want to stress that all this content is openly available online at Europeana, but also many other platforms. And so we hope that the Time Machine colleagues can reuse this kind of content. And also because they represent billions of items worldwide, if you look at all the natural history collections existing out there. And we think that they would be a good media to apply artificial intelligence. And our community also aims to comply to the FAIR principles, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. And we are also very much involved with the European Open Science Cloud. So it was a bit short, but if you want to know more and collaborate with our community, don't hesitate to contact me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, an interesting project. And so who is up next? And a nice background, by the way.
That's our castle in the garden. You can come for a meeting when it's allowed again.
Yeah, would be nice. Yeah, would have liked to invite you all to Vienna, but yeah, we're just virtually here. All right. So we might have a quick look up north to Finland and see what Juha Henriksson has to share with us, if he likes, from the Finnish Music Archive.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, I'm Juha Henriksson from the Music Archive Finland. I will say just a few words about the study on the Time Machine initiative in Finland that I'm currently carrying out. The study is funded by the Ministry of Education and Culture. In fact, a few days ago, I was asked to give a presentation about the study tomorrow afternoon in the project scouting session, and thus you will hear a longer presentation about the study tomorrow. As you heard in Frederick Kaplan's presentation, there are at the moment not less than 35 Time Machine members here in Finland. That is quite a lot considering how small Finland is. And the Finnish member network is comprised of many different types of organizations and communities. The purpose of the study is to examine all the capabilities and also the needs of the Finnish partners. For instance, how may the existing digital cultural heritage systems in Finland be brought under the Time Machine umbrella, and how they may be elaborated by Time Machine technology, and what materials from the Finnish glam sector could be used for Time Machine purposes, and how all the technical know-how here in Finland may be used when utilizing Time Machine infrastructure, both in national and also in European level, or when building local time machines. The final report of the study will be shared publicly. And as I mentioned, a more detailed presentation will follow tomorrow afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Juha. Yes, indeed, the Finnish members and your study is highly welcome to us. Also to act as a best practice project process also for maybe other other studies like this. Thank you very much. Yeah, of course, in the project scouting service time machine conference session, we will be more elaborate that a bit more. I think Valerie, we also has some updates concerning no spotlight. Valerie, the Elastic project. Yeah, I see her screen. I see her screen. I see her here.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Caroline. Hello, everyone. I try to share again my screen. Now, do you see it? It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me find out to move. It's okay. So hello, everyone. So I'm going to very briefly present our last results on content-based image retrieval dedicated to heritage contents at in my lab, LASTIG. So from LASTIG is from University Gustave Eiffel and IGN, the French mapping agency. And I am Valérie Gouet-Brunet. So very quickly, in 2018, we had started a project, National Project Allegoria, on the valorization of iconographic heritage content, mainly aerial imagery. And we have obtained and published some nice results. I list you here very briefly. We have worked on deep image description. We have worked also on cross-year multimodal image retrieval, and you have the list of publications if you want to have details on them. In collaboration with another project, another program of Time Machine, which is Archival City, we have also proposed a multimodal and a spatiotemporal web tool that was evaluated by historians and sociologists. You can have a look on the publication if you're interested in. And I will very quickly focus on two new projects which are starting now this year, since a few months. The first was is in collaboration with the Ville de Paris, and it's about structuring the iconographic collections of the Ville de Paris by crossing all this content at a large scale with at IGN, our Paris-wide 2D and 3D georeference dataset. So you have some example here that you can see on the slide. So it's ongoing, just beginning a new project. And another one also is done within the context of the Digital Data Working Group of Notre-Dame de Paris restoration. And it's about automatic spatiotemporal and multimodal indexing, classification, and structuring of large-scale photographic contents. But with the specificity is that those contents comes from, those image content comes from restoration sites. And of course, we do a focus on Notre-Dame de Paris, and all the project is about such specific content. So I forgot to say that this work is done in collaboration with two other labs, which are MAP at CNRS and ETIS at University Cergy-Pontoise in France. So thank you very much. If you want to have more details, you can read some publications or contact me with pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Valerie. Thank you very much. Now I would like to switch to Luxembourg and have Mr. Andreas from the Luxembourg Center for Contemporary and Digital History.
Hello, everybody. I will try to be very short as well. I'll give you two updates on what's going on in Luxembourg.
Sorry, wrong button. Sorry, now I muted him. I wanted to.
You can hear me now?
Okay, yeah, my fault. I wanted to spotlight you, but I muted you.
No problem.
So, sorry.
So I wanted to give you a brief update on what's going on in Luxembourg. First update is that we got a project funded by the Institute for Advanced Studies of the University of Luxembourg in collaboration with the Luxembourg Institute for Science and Technology, called LuxTime. This is a kind of very local and small time machine that we try to build on the site of where the campus of the university is now, that is Belval. And it's really an interdisciplinary project where we try to bring together history, digital history, with colleagues in the field of biomedicine and ecohydrology. So it's framed under the idea of doing a kind of environmental history of that specific place. And I think it's interesting because it's really focusing on a strong collaboration between history and the natural sciences and their big data of the past, the serial data coming from climate science, from geology, coming from chemistry, for example, and put this in an historical perspective and to visualize it so that it makes sense for historians as well. So this is how the site looked like 150 years ago. It was Belval, the nice valley, and they produced mineral water. And a few years later, it was turned into the biggest steel factory in Luxembourg, and is now where the campus of the rather young University of Luxembourg is situated. So a rather interesting change over a period of 200 years that we would like to reconstruct by using chemical data, biological data, and so on. The second update is that we are planning to set up really a Luxembourg time machine as a local initiative, and we're building the consortium right now, including the national libraries, national archives, and some other institutions, building on our role as Daria LU, also coordinator. The bigger vision here is that we hope to get support from the National Research Agency, FNR, to fund this local time machine in the program called NICER, so National Center of Excellence. This would give us a large time frame, 10 years, to really build this time machine with important funding from FNR, up to 8 million euro. So we hope that we will get the first project proposal through, its so-called initiate proposal, and then hopefully get the NICER funding, and this could turn the Luxembourg time machine into an interesting spot for not just a local time machine, but really expand it to the national frame. And be in that sense a bit different from what we know from other local time machines. Okay, that's it from Luxembourg.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as you said, there are a lot of different types of time machines, so we will hear more about that tomorrow morning in our local time machine session. Hopefully, Andreas, you can join this session as well. We have two more colleagues from Spain. Who is first up? Alicia from the Computer Vision Center. Yes, you're here. I see you.
Let me see if can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just quickly share this mini screen just to show the last update. So we are working in the, last 10 years in the creation of the historical social network. So this is what we have been working so far. Demographic information is extracted from population sources and then linking all the data for all these services for scholars and also for citizens. And what we are doing right now is that we are enriching this network with more population documents, but also with some other type of documents. So we have, for example, the historical newspapers. We are extracting the information from this. We are also analyzing music scores. We are also working with encoded manuscripts and, of course, with historical photographs. So all this analysis is helping the system to link all the data so that we can see not only names, but also all the information related to this. And just the last slide, I'm very fast. It's the Catalonia Time Machine. This is our aim. And in here we are partnering with public administration, with the private sector, citizens, and of course, all the research and education entities. Fast.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alicia. And so one more speaker we have, Jordi. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, okay, I will try to be really quick also. Okay. So I'm here representing the IIIA, the Instituto de Investigación e Inteligência Artificial, a research lab that belongs to the Consejo Superior de Investigaciones Científicas. And although we have been around for some time, we just recently become TMO regular members, so we thought it would be nice to introduce ourselves again. So the lab is a relatively small lab with around 50 full-time researchers, and we do research in artificial intelligence. So being now researching multi-agent systems, machine learning, cognitive architectures, and automatic reasoning, the most relevant probably for the Time Machine Initiative. As an illustrative example of the kind of project we participate in that can be of interest to the Time Machine community is La Draga project. La Draga is a Neolithic settlement in Banyoles near Girona. And in collaboration with the prehistoric department of the Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona, we built a 3D reconstruction of the settlement that could be experienced in a gamified virtual reality environment. The reconstruction was showed in an itinerant exhibition in different museums in Catalonia. That was, of course, before the COVID. And using the data extracted from visitors, we performed 2 studies, one regarding the use of this kind of technology in the context of museums, and another regarding the user's behavior when playing the game. So you can further get further information about those studies in the article that is referenced in the slides. And finally, let me just finish by saying that the IIIA is also one of the Catalonia local Time Machine members. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for also being so brief. Thank you very much. Do we have other presenters who would like to share a quick update? Someone I missed maybe? Yeah, I see raised hand.
Okay, so if there's anybody else?
No, we have some raised hands.
Oh, we have, okay.
Yeah, just to promote them to panelists so they can speak. So we would have now with so we can stay in Spain actually.
You see me?
You see Fabio?
Oh, hello, good to see you. I don't know what happened because I sent the material according to the rules, but it wasn't received probably.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we can put them on the website, and you can share with us.
Please.
Now, I would like to spotlight you. I don't know why it's not working.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
So very briefly, to everyone who's listening to me, my name is Fabio Vitali. I'm the delegate for the Time Machine organization for the University of Bologna. That is basically the second largest university in Italy, the oldest in the world, and has a number of interesting activities throughout every kind of scholarly discipline. We are a generalistic university, and therefore I think that we can probably be interesting for a very large number of subjects. But within specifically the Time Machine organization, there were 3 different topics that were basically involved in the discussion of the initial stages that I would like to briefly talk to you about. First of all is the legal and ethical viewpoints, basically connected with the impact of the digitization of digital cultural heritage, items within the legal and ethical framework of discussion, especially within the European context. And therefore we have been working towards what we call the Universal Declaration of the Rights on Digital Cultural Heritage dataset that I think should be considered for further discussion and basically global awareness. And then we had some activities about the acquisition of ancient manuscript, specifically hard to scan because of damages or problems in accessing to the actual data, so closed envelopes and very fragile volumes and so on. So X-ray tomography as a way to scan closed books and closed envelopes. And finally, about data representation, the idea that digital humanities is pointless without the possibility of expressing doubts, conjectures, hypotheses, and so on, and therefore the need to express and represent within a purely RDF framework, so a purely and traditional semantic web set of dimensions, things that we are not completely sure of, we are not completely confident about, and therefore the ability to be able to express ideas and conjectures and hypotheses. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this insight into the University of Bologna's doings. Yeah, you're one of our really first founders, founding members. Sorry that I missed your presentation. Maybe resend it to me or. And so now we go back to Barcelona, and I would like to invite Oriol. So. Right. Hello.
Hi, hello, how are you? Okay, so quick also. Can I share my screen? Here we go. Okay, so my colleagues has already presented some of the projects that they are running in the University Autónoma of Barcelona or in the research centers that are involved with the university, or we collaborate with them, as Alicia, or as it says in this project on the artificial intelligence. So I will talk you about two other projects that more related with what we call the Digital Humanities Network. So what we did is just put all the people who are dealing with digital humanities from different fields, and they put it together in this network that we call Xarxa d'Humanitats. No? With this demo, we have impulsed two new projects on training. One of those is this massive open online course in digital humanities that you can find in Coursera. So it's the first digital humanities course for the Spanish-speaking world, and it had more than 10,000 people, 10,000 students there. And we have also start with the master's degree, the official master's degree in digital humanities and digital heritage. That this year is our first year, and we are very happy because we have lots of students, even with the pandemic. And at least we have also created a humanities lab, or digital humanities lab, and what we call an open innovation lab, that all the university staff, also the academic, also the research area, can go there and use all the infrastructure that we have there, as 3D scanners, or another kind of virtual reality, or another kind of infrastructure, just to train it with this kind of infrastructure. And at least we are also promoting this Catalonia Time Machine, okay, with all the projects that we have in the University of Barcelona, Autónoma Barcelona. You can find the rest of the projects in our website. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the Catalonia Time Machine is really also really busy. Looking forward to see and hear more of that. Is there anyone else who would like to share some news or updates? You could raise your hands if you like, if you wish to speak.
Okay, thanks a lot. If it's not the case, I mean, it's very important to have these moments. I mean, we decided this year to have these slightly more workshop sessions, slightly more hands-on. We'll see how it goes in the next days. But that was that of course we also need moments to actually at least exchange, and that's a bit of course difficult to send virtually. So we're late, like a real conference is late usually. We just wanted to finish on the final poll. So we see, based on your result, that 71% members have voted, and so we have the local time machine followed by the project scouting, followed by the RFC in terms of average interest. I mean, that's expectable in terms of the variety of interest the various groups have. But at least, I mean, we don't have 0 for none of them. So I think it's worth that we have created these various sessions. Do you have something to add, Caroline?
No.
Okay, so I think we need to grab something for lunch because we're starting again at 12, not at 12, at 2 with the time machine agenda and RFC session. Again, I mean, we have some people who are going to speak, which were the one which, following the initial webinar, said they wanted to actually participate. They're going to present themselves. If you just discovered about the RFC ongoing element that you want to participate, don't hesitate to join us at 2. You could also have an occasion of presenting yourself. We're really trying to create a group of motivated people for editing, writing, and curating the requests for comments and building the RFC agenda. Bon appetit, have a great lunch, and we see each other at 2. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thanks for also from my side, and sorry for the starting difficulties, but thank you all for attending, and also great thanks to our colleagues in the US. Maybe they're going to bed now better than because what about 4 in the morning, I guess. But thanks for joining, and yes, I would say, as we said in the beginning, we recorded the meeting, so you can review it, and and also the presentations will be online and available.
Caroline, is that the same Zoom link for the session?
No, the conference has a different Zoom link because it's a more public event, but it's the same link for all three sessions. So for today afternoon and tomorrow morning and afternoon, it's the same link.
So link on the website. Is that correct, Kevin?
Yeah.
Also, Caroline. Okay. Okay. So see you in
see you later.
or tomorrow for the other sessions.
Bye bye.